The following is an exclusive presentation of Ravens Productions.
Coming up on this week's Ravens Report, Ronnie Stanley was mic'd up for last week's game against the Steelers. We break down Mark Andrews' big night, plus a preview of this week's regular season finale against the Bengals with the head coach, John Harbaugh. All that and more on this week's Ravens Report.
They are dancing in the aisles. Oh, what a scene we have at M&T.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. It was a challenging week across the NFL as the league and its players dealt with the emotional toll of the scary incident on Monday night that involved Bills safety Damar Hamlin. The entire Ravens organization offers their thoughts and prayers for Damar and his family. Now, on the field in Baltimore last week, the Ravens fell to the Steelers in a tight one at M&T Bank Stadium. But with their ticket punched to the postseason already, the focus now shifts to the regular season finale against the Bengals. But before we look ahead to Sunday, let's relive another chapter of Ravens Steelers on Sunday Night Football, where we had Ronnie Stanley mic'd up.
2023 starts with a classic rivalry. Ravens and the Steelers, and both have plenty to fight for.
Standard has been set, man. We can't go back at this point. It's already out there. Let's keep putting it on film. Let's keep stacking. Let's keep getting better. Let's go rock out, baby.
It has the feel of an electric atmosphere tonight at M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens at 10-5. Pittsburgh looking to keep long shot playoff hopes alive.
Woo, Kevo, Momo. Love you.
Let's go, baby.
Come on, Let's do it, my boy. Love you. I'm with you.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. I'm with you, Dante. Love you, bro.
I wouldn't rather go to war with nobody else other than this group right here.
We've been doing this our whole life. That's why we here. That's why we here. Let's do what? Big dogs on three. 1, 2, 3.
Disciplined football. That's it. That's it. One play at a time. Do your job. That's how you be great.
Thanks.
Feel me?
One play at a time, bro.
One play at a time. Doing your job.
Great in everything we
We
do.
got a bicep high five.
Everything we do today. Let's be great. Let's go.
It's a night game with a light show. The lights are out, the LEDs are on, the fans are on their feet as the Ravens begin to make their procession onto the field.
I'm trying to get you out. I'm trying to get out of your face mask. My bad.
Gives it to Dobbins up the middle. He's going to hold 25, 20, still on his feet. And he's spun down at the 17-yard line of the Steelers.
You won 97 last play. Good job.
Thank you.
Just let you let him go. You did a
Thank
good
you.
job.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to let go earlier. Do you feel like I was anchoring well?
He's just slowly working wide.
Okay, then not bring your feet, then flatten them out with your hand, your outside hand. Like at an angle, don't try to go across, you know what I'm saying? Don't wait till you're square with him, like you can use it at an angle, you know what I'm saying?
3rd and goal. Pickett throws a lob backside of the end zone, broken off, incomplete. Brandon Stevens had the wallpaper coverage, knocks the ball away, and the Ravens defense holds in the red zone and forces the kicking team on.
Yes, sir.
That's how you earn your check. Let's go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Settle in, communicate, make sure we get the front lined up, and then boom, fly to the football. That's how they're getting right there.
One play at a time. One play at a time. Let's go. Let's just do our job. Assignment. Communication.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Come on, Cat.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 97.
Cameron Hayward with a huge penalty on the Steelers and turned a sure field goal try into a last chance for the Ravens to try to get this ball in the end zone, as they'll now have it 1st and goal at the Pittsburgh 7. Huntley wants to throw, fires to the goal line, caught, touchdown, Isaiah Likely. And for the first time tonight, with 7 seconds left in the opening half, the Ravens have their first lead of the game.
Don't do that! Don't do that! Let's go! Let's go! That's it! Let's go! Yes, sir! Hey! Great drive, too. You good? You too. You guys are doing great. Keep fighting. Just fight.
I said it's man to man. It's going to Zay. Man, it's going to Zay.
Hey, appreciate the time to work. Hey, appreciate the time to work. I had to work that boy.
Whole new game. We got a whole game to play, you feel me? Just keep that mindset, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of respect, both sides, both organizations in this rivalry, but there's not much love. It's the Ravens 13, the Steelers 9. Chris Boswell's 33-yard field goal makes it a 4-point game.
The Baltimore defense cannot let them keep getting 5 yards on first down and making it second and short.
Big third down, bro.
Pickett takes the snap, has time, drifting to his right, steps up, now the pocket collapses, and he is sacked back at the 15-yard line. Justin Matabike breaking through.
That's how you show up. Yeah. No sack dance is trash. Yeah, we get better sack dance for sure.
So the Ravens now, midway through the third quarter on, their last 3 possessions. 4 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays. First and 10, the Ravens 22. 1:59 left to play. If the Steelers win, Pittsburgh stays alive with long shot playoff hopes. Pickett takes it. Under pressure, tries to escape, lobs to the end zone. It's caught by Najee Harris, and the Steelers have a touchdown that puts them back in front. Steelers take the final snap of the game, and this one is official. An official heartbreak. 16-13. Steelers over the Ravens. In a game the Ravens led 13-3 in the second quarter, but the Ravens unable to get any offense going in the fourth quarter. Their final possessions in this game did them in.
Now, according to John Harbaugh, the main difference in Sunday night's loss was execution, and the Ravens will have at least 2 more opportunities to clean that up starting Sunday in Cincinnati. Coming up next on Ravens Report, we look back at the performance of tight end Mark Andrews against the Steelers with Billick's Breakdown.
Brian Billick's Breakdown is powered by Microsoft, the official tablet of the Baltimore Ravens.
Welcome back to Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. Even in a loss, tight end Mark Andrews was in all-pro form last Sunday night with 9 catches and 100 yards receiving. And there's no doubt that the passing game will continue to lean on Andrews down the stretch and into the postseason, especially with the wide receiver group hit hard by injury. And for a closer look on what Mark did against the Steelers, here's Brian Billick with this week's Billick's Breakdown.
Well, the Ravens faced a 7- and 8-man front pressure all night, primarily because of the run game. And we talked last week about how they had to get Mark Andrews involved. Well, they certainly did, as he proved to be a one-man wrecking crew, getting 9 of Huntley's 14 completions. First one we're seeing, they're facing an 8-man front like they did all night. They motioned Dobbins out of the backfield to confirm that it's single high man coverage and widen and open the throwing area to Andrews. Dobbins goes verticals, as well as 84 Oliver, who runs to the flat. This really put a bind on the defense. Andrews runs a quick stick route, and the minute the outside linebacker widens to account for Oliver, Huntley delivers the ball. You can see how quickly the linebacker falls off Oliver back into coverage on Andrews, knowing that this is the guy that they needed to stop, and quickly tries to make the tackle at that point. Here on a 3rd and 6 and 3rd down, obviously Andrews was huge. This is a 3rd medium, and the Ravens open up in a spread 3-by-1 alignment with Andrews at the bottom of the 3-man side. Both the outside receivers go vertical, clearing out the one-on-one opportunity the Ravens were looking for. This was a big catch. Again, just a very simple route. One-on-one matchup for Andrews. This is a big play. It initially was called short of the line to gain, but the Ravens challenged it and ended up being a big conversion for them. Here the Ravens split Andrews out like a wide receiver at the bottom of a run formation. It's a 2 tight end spread alignment. He's at the bottom like a wide receiver. Look at the number count, the 8 defenders packed into the box to stop the run. This creates the one-on-one matchup with Terrell Edmonds of the Steelers. You're going to see Ricard motion over to set an edge and watch the effectiveness of the quick run fake, the effect that it has on linebackers. This leaves Andrews one-on-one with no help underneath for the defender for the Steelers. Great protection by the offensive line against this pressure, waiting for the route to get open. Again, on a 3rd down, this was a 3rd and long. This was a key 3rd down, and the Steelers sell out again with a 6-man rush, choosing to play single high man, even against a 3rd and long situation. Andrews is again at the bottom of the 3-man route side. Last time he broke out quickly, now he's going to cross the formation. Mika Fitzpatrick tries to run with him. This is a no-win proposition for anybody with Andrews because there's no help underneath because of the pressure. He simply crosses the formation all the way to the side for a big 18-yard gain. And then finally, you're going to see Andrews again. He's at the bottom of this 3-by-1 combo in a 3-by-1 set on the right side. The Steelers finally come out of their pressure man defense to try to bracket Andrews. They end up with 3 over 1. They have the safety, the underneath linebacker, and even the safety on the backside, 3-by-1 over the top. Oliver, who's on the bottom of the 3-by-1 formation, runs shallow across the formation, clearing out that backside. So even with that 3-on-1 bracketing that they had on Andrews, he's able to run a deeper crossing route, breaking to the outside for a nice 19-yard gain. Again, now certainly against a 5-man rush, but the offensive line does a great job of giving Huntley time because this was going to take a while for him to work across from that box coverage. It took a while, the offensive line held up, and Huntley was able to deliver the ball. Continuing to use Mark Andrews in the passing game is huge. They've got to get the other receivers involved as well because they're going to continue to see these packed 8-man fronts. And to augment the running game that obviously is going to go well, they've got to be able to get those big shots down the field as they continue on into the playoffs.
Now, the Ravens offense will always start with the run game, but to make a deep playoff run, balance is key, and the passing game, led by Mark Andrews, will have to produce. Coming up next on Ravens Report, we head to the locker room to hear from the Ravens themselves during an emotional week across the NFL. Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. This week was a difficult one for everyone affiliated with the NFL, and even those that are just a fan of the sport, after seeing Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffer cardiac arrest during Monday night's game against the Bengals. But no group was impacted more than the players that make up all 32 teams. And to get the Ravens player perspective, we went into the locker room. Let's take a listen.
I was watching it live, and I just thought it was he just fell back because, you know, he got hurt or something that wasn't that bad. And then you see how long it takes, and then you actually realize the actual stuff that he's going through and just stuff that's unimaginable.
It's a scary moment, you know, trying to put yourself in those players' shoes and obviously think about, you know, Damar's family and what they're going through. That's tough to see.
You know, obviously, you know, you say all the time, you know, you put your life on the line kind of playing this game, but it's crazy for that to really, you know, end up like that.
You know, I mean, this is one of those things that you know can happen, but you never really expect it to happen, you know. Something so severe like that, you know, where a man's fighting for his life, you know, and just, you know, it's one of those, you know, very tough situations.
You definitely take a step back and you realize how grateful you are just to be able to go out there and play the game. A hit like that, you wouldn't think it have any consequence on.
I mean, we were just talking about the other day, like, how many times have I made that tackle in my life? It seems so casual and so normal that he was just going to get up from it. But which he did, but obviously what happened, and just kind of set me back just because, like I said, like I made that tackle probably 50 times in my life.
I mean, it's a feeling that I'm sure everybody around the league has. You know, it's a little gloomy, you know, a little bit sad.
As, you know, this week goes on, it's been really close to just to lock in as brothers, you know, communicate with our family, you know, tell your people you love them when you got them. You know, my buddy always calls me and says I'm on a one-day contract, talking about himself. that's kind of how life is. You just never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
It's incredible, just the community, the NFL community, the brotherhood, the players, just a prayer that everybody's ahead for him.
I'm sure naturally, so many guys have questioned, do they want to play football again, after seeing something like that, do you want to take that risk, but I do know a lot of guys love this game enough, and, I know a lot of guys are going to continue to play football, but that is something that, if you start seeing guys retire, I couldn't fault anybody, I understand, this is a very tough job. As fun as it is, as much as I enjoy it, it's tough.
Most of us have been playing football for a long, long time, and so we just go out there, play the game that we love. If I didn't love this game, maybe it would be a little bit more difficult, but I love what I do. I love each and every day coming to this facility, playing for the Ravens, and competing my heart out.
I think there's something there. If you're going to play this game, you just go all out, and what happens, happens. But you never want to tiptoe out there on the grass.
Get towards the end, it kind of seems like you're just week by week just going through the motions. But this kind of just made everything slow down. Everybody slow down and appreciate. We're here to win football games, and we're here to produce. But at the same time, we're all human beings, and we all want to be healthy at the end of the day, and we all care for each other.
I think for this whole week and for probably many weeks to come, it's going to be in the backs of everybody's minds, and especially the guys that are playing. But I don't think this alters the way you play. I think you go out there, you be yourself, and everything takes care of itself.
With all the things going on, it's kind of a juggle of locking into this week while also still having thoughts and prayers for tomorrow.
Coming up next on Ravens Report, we sit down with the head coach, John Harbaugh, before the Ravens' regular season finale in Cincinnati.
Ravens Report is brought to you by MedStar Health, the official medical team of the Baltimore Ravens, and you. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Welcome back to Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. During a challenging week that has brought on unprecedented circumstances, teams lean on leadership. And for the Ravens, they are fortunate to have a head coach in John Harbaugh who seems to thrive in these situations. So for more on this week and what lies ahead in Cincinnati, here is the head coach with Garrett Downing.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Obviously, this week has been just a difficult week in the NFL and really the sports world, the entire country as a whole, given the Damar Hamlin situation. Now, as the week has gone on, we've gotten some good news on that front, and certainly we all hope and pray that continues. But how have you gone about as a team just processing and discussing this entire situation?
Right. Well, first of all, you're right. Thankfully, he's doing better, and you've gotten good reports from his family, good reports from friends of ours at the Bills. And it sounds like things are trending very strongly in the right direction. So those are prayers answered. I think everybody kind of takes a sigh of relief on that because it's something that everybody was very concerned with. I just think like all of our players, whether they're watching the game or not, ended up watching the situation play out and tried to put themselves in that situation because they're on the sideline. They know how it is to be on the sideline, and seeing the reactions on the faces of the players from both teams and then seeing how the head coaches handled it and the fact that they did suspend the game and stop play, which I felt was a great move, and I was really proud of the head coaches for getting together and talking that through and pulling their teams off the field in that situation because nothing's more important than health and safety of any player or any coach or anybody else on the field in that situation. They just did such a good job of that, and I was really proud of them. But throughout the course of the week, just coming in on Tuesday, we came in the very next day. It was pretty still fresh in everybody's mind. We started our team meeting and just kind of talked about it, and explained what we knew and then opened it up to anybody talking. And one great thing about our team, they're transparent. They'll talk. They'll help one another. They'll talk things through. They'll ask tough questions. They're not afraid to communicate on things. And generally when you do that, when you got a chance to talk things through and kind of air things out, you feel better with that. And we prayed, honestly. We prayed as a group, and I believe that helped.
Yeah, I know that the team has a team clinician, a team chaplain, and talking with the players this week, multiple players talked about just the value of those conversations, even if it's just getting it off your chest or having a conversation or having an opportunity for prayer. It just seemed like those resources really went a long way in talking with the players, and it's clear that there was a benefit of that.
Can't say enough about Dr. Trish and Johnny Shelton and the professionals here in the building and the professionals that they brought in. Those are confidential conversations, But I know what a great job they do, and I have a chance to talk to them, pretty much every day, and the relationship that they have with the players. The fact that Steve and the organization commits to those kind of resources for players and coaches and staff, that's a big deal. That's something I think that speaks volumes for, how Steve feels about people in his organization and how important and how seriously he takes mental health and everybody's well-being. Available to the families at times too. So, yeah, it's something that definitely was a big part of it.
Obviously, there is a game this week, and we'll make the impossible transition of talking about that. But as you've gone through this week and preparing for this game, how has the team, handled the preparation?
They've been great. They've been great. They've been able to compartmentalize, and they've been able to kind of get focused on the job at hand and work. Our guys understand that this is football, and they also understand the nature of the injury and kind of what happened. I think they understand, the risks that they take as players. They're all excited to go play the football game.
When you look at this Bengals team, obviously a very talented team. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. You played them in Week 5 and you beat them here. Does it look like the same team? How does it, comparing to what you saw from Week 5 from them?
Well, it does, because they've got the same players out there. They've been relatively healthy. They've been healthy for 2 years now, so that's a credit to them. I would just say that the difference is they look better. They've continued to improve. That's what good football teams do, offense, defense, and special teams. They're end of the season compared to early in the season better, and we're going to have to face that challenge, and we're looking forward to it.
Coach, good luck this week. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, Garrett.
And these late season Bengals-Ravens games always seem to include some classic finishes, and we even got one in Week 5 with a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal. So we'll see what these two teams have in store for us on Sunday. That'll do it for this week's show. Make sure to tune in to Bengals-Ravens Sunday at 1. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you right back here next week for a postseason edition of Ravens Report.